Today's session is a continuation of last week's session. And I need you to help me with this first of all, so that I will know how I'm going to go about it. Today is supposed to build up on last week's. So I want to even be, not making assumptions. I want to even know how many of us right now are in last week's session. And then also, even if you didn't join, did you watch the recorded session? So those are the things that I will be needing. So please, you can go to the chat box and you see the poll link. Let me repost it. So if you follow that link, you'll be able to answer and I will see your answer and everybody will see your answer. And you can also go to menti.com. So if you go to www.menti.com, menti.com, and you use the code 2268859, you will see it on your screen anyway. So if you do that one too, you'll be able to access this. Oh, seems everybody is feeling it. We are not around last week. Okay, I might have to refer you to some of last week because I don't want it to be a repetition of last week. Especially those who will be watching the recording, to be really a disservice to do again exactly what we did last week. So maybe I know what I will do, so you won't really be at a loss, and still it won't be like I'm repeating myself. But I need to let you know that you can grab the recorded version of last week's. Let me look for that for you right away. So let me quickly grab for you the recording of last week's. I have to screen, so you might be noticing that sometimes I'm looking at, I'm not looking at your screen. So let me just quickly do that. I want to grab for you the recording of last week's session. Not that you should go watch it now because you have to be here anyway, but so that at least I don't forget. So last week's recording. But like I've said, I'm going to do something that will make it really, I will bridge the gap anyway, so that's not a problem. It won't be a loss, but at least now that I know, I'm not going to be making assumptions. So thank you very much. Now that I've gotten enough responses to decide on it and make an assumption that, okay, everybody here were not present last week. So I move straight to what we have to do. This is what we did last week. But since you are not here last week, when you watch the record, you will see. But what I should be building on top of this. So what I will do is I'm going to do something completely new. That way, you will be able to, get value without you feeling like something is amiss because you didn't join last week. But those who watched last week, then it will be like a refresher. But the other thing is I will be a bit faster. So I will be faster with the things that I covered last week. So if you notice that in the beginning I'm a bit fast, it's not that I don't want you to know it. It's because by the time you watch the recording, you will get it. And that way I can be able to spend more of today on what we are supposed to do today, rather than me using the whole of today again to do what we did last week. Okay, so, but just to let you be aware, what we did last week is I took us through how to create a user entry form. Okay, I need to enable content. So how we did something like this, where you are able to create a user form and you can type in information. I can say, my name is Damilola Joko and my phone number is 09 blah blah blah, and my location is, there's a drop down you pick from. My category is, there's also a drop down I pick from, and then when I click on save, you see it plugs in the answer straight into the Excel, and I get a notification that says, oh, successfully saved. And when I click OK, it clears the screen and I can save another record, and then I can say I'm done, I want to cancel. So maybe just to fill in one more again. So say I fill in, my name is Joseph Yoko, my phone number is blah 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 blah, some numbers there. My location, so I showed us how to do all of this. I'll try and redo them in today's demonstration. So let's say he is in FCT there is category, but actually these are for companies anyway, but not a problem. And then when I click on save, voila, you see, it plugs the answer in there, and I get a notification that says successfully saved, and then I'm done. So I can close. Okay, so it's unfortunate that most of you are not here last week, so I'm going to have to do this all over, but I'll be fast, but I'll do something completely new. So let us talk about what we're going to do today. So I'm going to close this anyway. Should I save? Okay, let's say save. So I close this. In fact, I close this was the one for the financial modeling. All right, so I open an empty Excel file. So what do I want to do? You'll see I'm a bit like in a hyper mode because there's a lot I need to do. Unfortunately, I need to do part of last week's zone. So I might be talking a bit fast, but you're going to get all of what we're going to do. And the good thing is because there's going to be the recording too. You can always record and pause, especially at the code place. But then, first of all, let it be clear to us what it is that I want to do. Okay, so I need to use this one. Use this so it doesn't distract me. Okay, great. Okay, so here is what I want to do. We are going to create a survey or questionnaire. That is a user interactive. In Excel. So it has all those things you saw me show you, like like you click it, something pops up, you can pick drop down, you can. So the person will not need to interact with the Excel sheets. It's going to be filling into those boxes, it's called Userform anyway. And then now, because it's survey, say imagine that I want to survey 100 people. You see, it will not make sense when I send you the survey form, which in this case is going to be Excel. And then when you send back to me, I should now be copying one by one. That's not going to make any sense at all. So what do I want to do? I want to plug in. So this is going to be number one. Number two is that I'm going to put in an export, an export button. So export, to export people's answer, your answers. To export answers to a folder. So that way, there's going to be a dedicated folder where all the answers will go. Now, you might be thinking, why should you be doing this when there's Google search? Google form and there's Microsoft form. Two answers. One, academic reasons, meaning that, that's to give me the opportunity to show you what I want to show you. Then number three is actually, there are some times in companies that you already have things like this. You already have, so for instance, it could be different units of a department and they create different sections of the report. I've seen it happen a lot. Supply chain, somebody could be in charge of some kind of raw materials, another person is in charge of another. And they already use Excel. They are not using Google Sheets or Google Form, or they already use Excel. And then what they do is when they fill in the information, they email to somebody else who does reports. So some form of this thing that I want to do already exists. So as much as you could make a case for Google Form, Google Sheets to be able to do this, there are already cases that exist in companies where someone is already doing something like this and it will be able to apply what I'm using. But more importantly for everybody is that this will help you to understand the amazing aspects of Excel, Userform, and some of the things I want to show. And you can use it for things that are a lot more, you won't use everything I'm doing, but use some aspect of what I'm doing. Okay, so number three is, now we're going to have a collation file that can import all the files, all the answers, it will import them. So imagine I have a file that I have monthly reports going as far back as I don't know, maybe the last 24 months, and I want to collate them. Well, there's Power Query, but then maybe there are some things I want to do that Power Query is not going to be able to automate. Like I'll still have to be manually doing things because Power Query does not do analysis. You can't do the charts, you can't do the. It just helps you to do a whole of the aggregation and some transformation. But in this case, I want to do end-to-end automation, right? Then you do this. Anyway, enough of the story, right? So 3 things we want to do, right? Number 1 is I want to create the user a survey, but in Excel for user form. Maybe I will even share it with you if there's time for you to fill to and send an email back to me. So I go back to my Excel, right? So what are the information I want to grab from people? So what I want to grab from different people, so let's say I'm going to say maybe the survey is going to look a bit like this. So I'm going to say in fact, let's use something a bit closer to real life. So we could say 2020 customer satisfaction survey. Okay. So and all right, so that's good enough. So I could say here I want to get the customer name. I want to get the just thinking what can be faster so that I don't waste too much time on this. Okay, not a problem. We're going to go ahead with this. So I want to grab the customer name, the industry. I want to grab the customer name, industry, location, say locations in form of states, key account manager. So who is the customer key account manager? Okay, then who is the, so on all the different things we need them to rate us on. So we need them to rate us on 5 different metrics. So it could be like metric 1, metric 2. So let's say 10 metrics, right? So I need ratings. The rating is going to be 1 to 5 kind of rating. Okay. Right. So let's say this is it. This is enough. Since we don't, and then I can come here and turn off read lines. Okay, so let's say this is it. Let me just put the company logo. Then insert picture. I go to file. Go to my picture. Go usage. Logo that I use. This is not a good one. The logo is proving too much time to okay, absolutely. Right. So this could be like you already have a maybe invoice template or something else, and you want to aggregate how. Okay, so all right. So now that I have this, what are the things that I want to do? Okay, great. So this is the survey, but I don't want the person to type in here. So I want the person to fill the survey. So I want the person to fill the survey. I can come in here, pick a shape, draw. I even decide to use my company color. Okay, great. So I can say fill survey. I can make it bold. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to drag one out there. So control, click and drag out does that. Okay. Anytime you don't hear me or you have any question, you can drop them in the chat box. And then I want to export. Okay. So let's start with the fill. So I'm going to right click and say I want to attach this. You see, I want to attach this to a macro. I want to assign to a macro. Okay. I'm going to call the macro fill survey. So the rule is you can't use space. The only special character you can use is underscore. So maybe I want to use underscore, I can use underscore. You can't use any other character, but you can use number. As long as the number doesn't start the name. So I'm going to click on OK. Let me on Zoom. Once I click on new, not OK now, new. Let me zoom again. After I type the name I want, once I click on new, right, it's going to bring up the VBA form. Okay, so I'm going to now start doing the bulk of the work I need to do. So now the first thing is, I want it when you click on that button, a user form should come up. Something that is like a very nice to, you know, like a software stuff, not Excel sheet anymore. You know, so I'm going to go to insert. So this is what we did last week. That's why I said it would have been nice if you were around last week, but not a problem. I will take the pain to just do it all over again. So because I have two screens and I want to be fast, I will drag this one to my second screen so I can see the things I need to create, and then the VBA part to be here. Okay, great. So, all right, and so let's begin. I'm going to call this, let me zoom. I'm going to call this, instead of user form 1, I'm going to call this the form or survey user form. And then here, I wanted to show maybe our company name and say, okay, so instead of in caption here, I could say your BZ Limited Customer Satisfaction Survey. Satisfaction survey. So that's showing here, right? Okay, good. And I hope you're following. I hope there's not too much of a lag between what I'm saying and what I'm doing. Okay, great. So there are questions I need the person to fill, right? So I'm going to, this thing comes with the toolbox. Where's the toolbox? Now let me just unzoom my screen. It comes with a toolbox. I can't find the toolbox. So this is it. It comes with a toolbox, right? So let me just put them side by side, zoom my screen. So I need to ask for the customer name. That is going to be me adding a label and saying I need the customer name. Maybe this is too large. Great. And this customer name, you will need to fill it into a text box. So I need a text box. Okay, great. Then this label is going to be asking for customer name. So I change the caption to customer name. Now, see, it will make better sense if this thing is aligned to the right. So let's align to the right. Align to the right. Let me check down. Oh boy, I need to hurry up. So I aligned to the right. What other thing? Let's go check it out. Maybe then I need this to be a bit closer. Awesome. So what other information I need? I need the industry name. So I can reuse this. Pick the tool and drag out another copy. Let me reduce the spacing. I'm also going to draw. I need industry name. So again, click, drag out. I didn't do that correctly. So drag out industry name. I need what else? I need location. So I'm going to again control drag out. That will be location. Then I need key account manager. So again, I click, hold down control, drag out, control, drag out. That's going to be key account manager. And then I need, there are 10 metrics that I need the person to fill in ratings for. So what do I do? I'm going to create like, maybe because of time, I will use a drop-down approach for the rating. But if I had enough time, I could create a slide, a slide that you could pick between. Let's see if that's not going to take too much time. So there are how many metrics? There are 10 metrics. So let's see. With spin button will work well. Let's just try that. You know what? Because of time, instead of me, I'm going to just use a drop down. So here, I'm going to have beneath it a drop down. Drop down a combo box. Combo box. So how do I squeeze in 10 metrics there? Okay, we're going to get there anyway. So let me quickly rename these ones. So this is going to be industry. Industry. This is going to be location. Again, I'm fast with this because this is what we did last week. So that I don't use the whole of today to do what we did last week. Then key account manager. I have something extra that shouldn't be there. Customer name, industry, location. Okay, I'll knock it off. Key account manager. Okay, so this key account manager, location, I don't need this one. So these two are going to be a combo box. then I'm going to call this metric 1. Metric 1. Okay. So the different metrics that I need you to provide a rating for, or I need the customer to rate our services on. So this is where the ratings will be. So I can fix all those metrics into a frame. So maybe that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just put a frame over here. I'm going to so this will be where the metrics will be. So I can call these the metrics. Metrics rating. Okay, so let's see how fast I can go. This will be metric 1. This will be metric 2. This will be metric 3. This will be metric 4. This will be metric 5. I think this is good. Then I can just maybe I need to space them very well so that I don't spend too much time spacing. You can use a line to space, but because I'm having two different things I'm selecting, let me not worry with the alignment. That might not work as nice as I want. Okay, so let's say this is nice enough, and I select them all, and I drag down. So let's say maybe I'm happy with this. Okay, so I'm going to rename them. So this is going to be metric 1. Yeah, that's 1. Metric 2. This is half time. Let's see how fast I can be. Metric 3. Metric 4. Metric 5. 5. Metric 6. Metric 7. Metric 8. Metric 9. And metric 10. So when you are done filling all this information, you will need a submit and a cancel button. So let's add button, the cancel button, and I need a clear button and I need a save button. So last week I talked about why usually you want to do those 3 buttons. I don't know which is. Anyway, let me show you. If you are really bothered about the spacing, which is what I was talking about the other time, I could come here to format, align. So I'm going to try to distribute, horizontal spacing, make equal. Maybe it's already equal. So it has all these functions anyway. So I'm done with that part. I'm going to call this cancel. Again, I did this very elaborately last week. So I'm going to call this cancel button. This clear. That clear is going to take me time to come. Anyway, if we don't finish today, maybe we'll carry some things over to next week. Just like to be unfortunate if it's a different audience I have next week too. So I better try to finish today. Then I'm going to call this save. Save. Okay. I see some people going in, coming out. Maybe I'm on my own today. Is it that tough? Okay. All right. I'll carry on. Maybe those who watch the recording will not find it so difficult. It's. I can't just be teaching only some aspects. It's all the aspects of Excel I need to at least touch once in a while. And this is really important. Like I'm working on a project for a client right now, and this is what I'm using. Unfortunately, I can't tell you too much. So, so I'm okay now with the look and feel, right? I want to finish what will happen when you click on cancel. I double click on cancel. So whenever you click on cancel, well, you should unload the user form. So that's what cancel will do. I double click here again to be back here. When you click on clear, what should happen? When you click on save, what should happen? So to make this meaningful, I'm going to have to rename these boxes and say, okay, customer name should be name. Then I'm going to ensure that so that when I'm doing tab index is 1, so that's good. This one should be industry. I'm going to ensure the tab sequence is what it should be. I told us about that one too last week. So when you're watching the video, if you were here last week, then this is again a good refresher. Then this is going to be location. Okay, and this should be 3 based on the other numbers that the tab index is 3. So I'm going to call this one 3 so that I move straight there after that. And this is a key account manager. It should be 4. So combo box key account manager. I'm going to call it KAN. So that's the first. I hope I call this one correctly here. Then this should be. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be 4. It should be 4, 4. This should be 3, and let me just confirm that that's what it should be. Okay. Then afterwards, this should be metric 1. So I'm just going to call it M1 combo box. M1 combo box. It should be 5. So tab stop 5. For tab index 5. Then this one should be metric. That should be 6. Oh, inside the frame, it should be a different number. So this frame should come out as 5. 5. And then all of these inside the frame are going to have their own number. Anyway, I can carry on with the way I was doing 6 and 7. M2 to call the 7. How many minutes more do I have? Maybe I'll skip the tab index because that's all is just so that you can use tab when you know how you do tab and it goes to the next question instead of you having to type. Because now it's looking like I'm really racing against time. So this is M3. This is M4. I'm going to skip that one. M4. This is M5. M5. This is M6. M6. This is M7. M7. This is M8. M8. This is M9. M9. This is M10. Okay, so if I'm chanced after, I will keep up with the tab sequence. All right, so this is looking a bit getting there. So what I want is when you click on clear, you should clear all of them, right? So that I will remember the name. I'm going to screenshot this. I'm going to grab the screen. So I have something for grabbing the screen. So that way I will remember the names when I'm doing the coding side. So I'm going to drag this to another screen on my PC. Something is weird. So I'm going to double click on clear. So what should happen once you click on clear? Well, what should happen when you click on clear is that all of those text boxes, whatever has been typed in should go away, right? So if you remember, I call this trouble. Was it name? Yeah, I can always verify it. Yeah, name text box. So awesome. So I need you to name text. So I prefer to type in small caps everything, so that I mentioned it last week too, uh, so that I will know if I've done something wrong. Because if I've done the right thing, I'm going to capitalize the T and the B. And I'm going to just copy this, paste as many times. I think I have how many? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 10 metrics. So 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The one after name is industry. So that's why it's good to give it a name that you can easily remember. The one after industry is location. The one after location is key account manager. Then I now start having, then these are combo, not text. So combo box. Combo box. Then, in fact, every other thing is combo box. So I'm going to just do for one. So this is M1 combo box. I can double click this, paste, 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 paste. This becomes M2, M3, M4. Many more minutes. Oh boy, the time is really racing against me. 9, 10. Okay, so that will do that one. Huh? Let me zoom. And if I go back to my user form by double clicking the user form here, so if I double click on this, it takes me back to this. Then what should happen when you click on save? So what should happen when you click on save is that it should take the values that you have typed in those text box and combo box, put them back into the Excel for me. So I'm going to now do that right now. So let me just quickly first of all figure out the addresses of where the things should be. So I'm trying to get the address out fast so that the stuff I'm doing. Okay. So now all I have to do is grab all of these, paste here, and then instead of then recording something, it is now my Excel cell. So customer name is going to be in cell D15. So what do? I can say again, I covered this last week. So pardon me that if I'm a bit fast. Let me zoom so that at least you see as I'm typing. So sheet 1 dot range dot d15 dot value equal to. So I'm going to grab all of this and paste here. Paste here. Paste here, and 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 paste here. Okay, great. So I need to modify the address. This is it's like I've done something that doesn't make sense. It's D5, D7. Not a problem. I'll fix it. So this is D5. This is D7. How I know is I'm looking at the Excel sheet on the other place. So that's why. But unfortunately, like I said, this is me repeating what I did last week. So that's why I'm not as slow as I did it last week. Last week I took my time with all of this. So E F G H I J K L M. And that's done that. Then I need to knock off all these ones. So I can even be faster if I just do this. Find and replace, Control H. It's popped up. So paste this, replace with nothing. Boom. So alright. Alright, so let's go test it out. So I've just finished completing what I did last week. Now you understand what I meant by I don't want to repeat too much what I did last week. So with this now, we have a situation where if this is the Excel. If you click on fill the survey, the form, oh, I forgot to tie it to the form, so that's not difficult. So all I need to do is right click on this, the assign macro, but now I want to edit. So we are back here. So what do I say? I say it should call up the form that I created, so which is a survey form, survey user form dot show. So that's how you make macro call up a form, a user form you designed. Now that I've done that, I can go back to my Excel. I can, click on this and you see, voila, the form has popped up, right? So let me just zoom my screen. So let's test it now, right? So if I say my name or my customer name anyway, so let's say this is a Nigeria breweries. Industry is, I think we should also make industry drop down, right? Well, industry beverage, location and key account manager. So I want it that location and key account manager should have content in this drop down, right? So what do? I need to go and finish that part up. So I'm going to create. So I'm going to go to because of time, now we'll just do the creation here. So for location, I want all the states in Nigeria. So I already have the states in Nigeria in my computer. So what I'm going to do is all of this, I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to name these states, or should I say location? Location. Let's just call it state, so it looks like a different name. States. Are you seeing where I'm typing the name? Typing it here. So that's a short way of you creating a name. You do enter. So that means I've named all of this. Then key account managers, right? I need to do something fast too for that one. Let me use my Nigerian markets data tool for that. So I'm going to create maybe 10 people, 12 people. So let's say 12 people. So I'm going to create 12 people. I'm going to say I want to create 12 people. So you see 12, get me Nigerian names of that quantity of 12. Boom. So I have 12 names now, right? Again, you can watch some of my video on how this one works. It's just to save me time. I don't want to type. I'm running against time. Okay. So I'm going to call these people the key account managers. So these are the account managers. So let me zoom so you see what I'm doing here. So this makes life easy with when you are working with drop down with combo box in Userform. Now I'm beginning to trip. All right, so I'm going to have to go back to the code side. You can do Alt F11 to go back to the code side, which is like you open the VBA editor. So what do I do? I'm going to go to, again, I did this last week. So I go to the combo box, right? I go to row source, and I type that this should come from states. So you should pick the name range called states, attach it to this combo box. Then for the account manager, you should do something similar. Account manager. Since you couldn't find it. I don't know what I named it as. Let me try it. ACC underscore managers. Okay. Maybe I didn't put hex the other time. So now that I've done this, let me unzoom. Go back in here. Let's click on the field. So let's try filling now. So Nigerian breweries. Now notice I press tab, it goes to the next one. That's the beauty of that tab index I did the other time. Now when I come in here, I'm able to pick, it pops up here. So I'm going to say this is in Lagos. Then key account manager, maybe this is the key account manager. And if I do tab, you see I'm able to come in here. But unfortunately, I've not filled this one too. Not difficult to fill. I need to, there are ratings of 1 to 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to call all of these ratings. Then I need to again go back here and pick all of these. So I think that's a good thing with this one. Since they are all the same type, I can pick them all at once and say row source is ratings. So I'm going to go back right to my Excel. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to be back here. Let me just be sure it's working fine. Okay, great. So Nigerian breweries, industry beverage, Lagos, key account manager, this person. Rating, I'll just be fast with that. I think even my box is not wide enough. We can fix that one later anyway. Then I do save. So let me unzoom my screen. When I do save, see what happens, right? It populates all of those values into something is wrong. Populate all those values. Metric 1 and metric 2 is not having values. But anyway, the other ones work. So I can quickly go check out why. How many more minutes? I have 10 more minutes. So I go back here and then let's see what I was thinking. I didn't name this, so that was why. So this should have been M1 combo box. M1. M1. Then maybe I'll name something else as M1. That's strange. Box 1, 6. Maybe I labeled call the string M2. Okay, not a problem. MM2, MM1. I have small brain too. MM1. So, all right. So I can just update my stuff here to the MM1, MM2, MM1, MM2. That's all. What other things did I notice? So I have these stuffs were really tiny, right? So well, it's either I reduce the font or I increase the height. So you know, let's try the font or height. Let's say height. So if I increase the height, let's see if that should work nice. I think this is what they needed the memo. Okay. All right. So back in here, fill this. I can just fill only the ones that unfortunately is going to fill those ones with empty slots. This is the annoying part of this thing, the testing part, where you keep typing the same thing 10 times. I'm used to it anyway. What I do is I use my code to escape the ones that are there and tell it to only work for the ones that are usually filling for the parts that are not filled before, which is by commenting out the ones that have been filled before. So I'm going to do submit, right? And complaining about something. This is for MM2. Object required. Well, not a problem. I can verify what it's called. See, why am I making so many mistakes? Huh? So I call it combo box 1. MM1. Let me just do that here. So at least it lets me go. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so all is good. And then I want it that when it's done, you should be able to clear automatically. So I can clear, So let's just quickly do that. How many more minutes? 5 minutes. Maybe I should, you will give me extra time. So after save, I will like you to also call the clear control so that once you save, it clears, and before that, it should do a message to let people be aware that, so to say, okay, successfully imputed the ratings. Okay, so now that I've done all of this, so the thing is, so let me just call it office 14. I'm going to share this file to you if you stay to the end. So that's the incentive for staying to the end. So I'm going to just save it as a macro-enabled file. So that's good, macro-enabled file, so that my code stays there. Now, here is it. I want a situation where let me do one thing that we say you shouldn't be doing. In this case, this is it. So I want to export, right? I want to export such that when I send this out to people to fill, and they fill and they send back to me, I want to be able to click on export so that this is saved somewhere, right? Or I could have even saved it myself, but anyway, it's a very the real life stuff that I work on. People can fill in different things, so it has a lot more than this. But let's just talk about the exports. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say that I want to export, so assign macro. Okay, I'm going to call this export, and I say new. So we are again back here. So what should it do? Okay, so again, let me unzoom my screen. And all right, so I'm going to start typing some things. Let me zoom up my screen again. So I want to call up a folder to kind of like the file explorer. So I'm going to say bin folder string. So this will grab the folder that you pick. And then I'm going to say, well, whenever there's an error, I want it to go execute something else. Error could just be that you didn't pick a file anyway. So now after I've done that, I'm going to say I want to call up the file dialog box, file folder picker. So application dot file, you can see file dialog. Then you should bring out the element exactly. Can you see there's a folder picker? That's the one I need. So I want to use the folder picker. So I need to name the if. So most times you quickly want to name so you don't forget. Now if you picked something, so that's dot show is equal to -1. So that's how it records that where you clicked on an OK. You've selected and you clicked on an OK button. So then I need to name this. I need it to grab the name of the folder or the link of the folder. Let's see. So the selected items and grab because like an array stuff, you grab. It's definitely one I expect to select, but anyway, grab one. Okay, so now with that part done, if what you selected, so like if the name of the folder is not empty, so which means well you did a real selection before clicking on OK, right? Then I need it to grab the name. What to make sense to save it as. So I want to give it a name that you save as. Let's say to save as the name of the company. So the company name. So I need it to be okay. Company name. Company name is equal to. I will have to declare that later, but for now, let's just go grab the company name. So company name is equal to sheet 1 dot range. I think that is in the D file. That's where the company name is. So you should just save the file with the company name. So that's how we know that's a customer name, right? So the value. So once you've gotten the name, I want you to set the let's zoom. Let me just do some quick check. Let me zoom again. So it's making sense. So I'm going to set the, it's going to create a new workbook. So set new book equal to workbook. This is not a very good session. Even me myself, I'm feeling it that if you are really new to this, you're going to be overwhelmed. But it's actually because I plan it to be a continuation. Now, unfortunately, I'm spending very small time on the main thing I should have done. I did most of the time doing what we did last week. But not a problem, we will finish whenever we reach. Just give me like extra 10 minutes. So at least let us do it. Let's see that it works. Then when you're watching the video, I'll send you the file. You can begin to try to decode what we have done. Or at least you're able to see that all what I said in the email to you that we're going to do, we achieved them. All right, so no workbook. Yeah, so workbook the add. And I also want to grab the existing. So the existing is equal to active sheet. Okay, and I'm going to grab the existing book or existing sheet. Yeah, maybe I should call it the existing sheet because that makes more sense. It's actually existing sheet. The existing sheet dot copy, right? I want it to be put before the new book dot sheet 1, before the first sheet in that one. Okay, and then I need it to save it. So I want it to also again save it. So it's going to be like new book, new book dot save as file name is going to be the folder that we have picked. That's where we want to export to. I need to add to it like for backward slash, right? And then it should put in the company name. And that's all. Yeah? Or should I maybe have something else on top? File name. This is enough, right? So, and maybe so that you'll be aware, you do a message box. Survey reports exported. To that folder name. Okay, so maybe this is it. I forgot to put hand. Let's say this is enough. At least this is enough. Okay. And on error, what should happen? So I can say exit solve, but on error, it should just do a message box. Something went wrong. Try again. Okay, so let's go check it out, right? And checking it out, I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on export. Can you see that it brought out a folder? Which folder should I use? Let me create a new folder and say Office Hour. Office Hour. So I'm going to select this folder and say it should export into this folder. And let's see. Voila. It says survey report to this particular folder, has been exported to this particular folder. Okay. So everything works fine, right? If I go to my computer and I go to documents and I look for that folder, Office Hour. Voila, here it is. Can you see the Nigerian beauties? Good boy. The aggregation part now, I don't think I'll be able to get to that part today. But as you see, it exported maybe next week or another time. I'm going to do the aggregation part because my 10 minutes extra is 2 minutes too. So thank you very, very much.